that's a little bit of a really rough Wes Montgomery octave solo on the tune How Insensitive by Joe Beam. You know, if you're really good at octaves and you've been doing them a long time, you could kind of bypass this little video. But if you're kind of new to octaves, or you really haven't worked on them enough like me, this is just to give you some ideas about how they work and how Wes used them at the beginning of his solo here. So just a basic review for somebody who hasn't played them. Octaves are when you play, for example, A and A, an octave apart. So on the 6th and 4th strings, they look like this. On the 5th and 3rd strings, they look like that. On the 4th string and 2nd string, they're like this, wider apart, further apart, and likewise. So 1st and 3rd strings, 2nd and 4th strings. Here there's only one empty fret between when you're on the 5th and 3rd strings, and the 6th and 4th likewise. So they're, you know, they're like this. So if you were to do, let's just say, an A minor pentatonic, it would look like that, you know, a major scale. So you have to remember to adjust when you're going from, I tend to think of the index finger, which sometimes gets me into trouble, but I think of where the index finger is. So, you know, this would be the minor pentatonic. But you have to remember that when you get to the index finger on the 4th string, you have to change the shape. Okay, so let's look at Wes's thing. I'm going to show you what the index finger is doing first, just to try to simplify. And actually, before I do that, let me just show you what I'm working from here. It's just a handwritten tab to make it easier for me. But I'm going to link down below the animated transcription for this Wes Montgomery solo. I'm going to be starting here, and I'm going to see how far into the 2nd line I can get. You know, as I said, we're kind of going to be learning together because octaves is not one of my strongest points. So I'm working on it, and I figured part of the idea of these videos in this channel is for me to share things I'm working on, and as I hopefully get better, I can help you get better at the same time. So anyway, what's going to happen here is we're on the 5th string. So that's the line that he's playing. The reason I'm using the 1st is because we're going to do it all with octaves. So again, starting on the 5th string, 5, 8, then you move over, 10, okay, I'm saying the wrong number, 5, 8, 7, 8, 6, 9, 10, 7. Now we'll put the octaves on. Okay, one more time. Next part is easier. Slide into the 7 and 10. Now this part, you know, and again, just to mention in case you didn't know, Wes used his thumb. I find using the thumb sometimes more difficult, especially on this Gibson. I have another guitar where it's more conducive and I can use the thumb more. So just for exactitude, I'm kind of using the pick, even though I know that's very un-Wes. The next phrase. So what that is it's actually like 1. Okay. So back to the beginning. I'm trying not to explain too much, and I think a lot of it is just visually self-evident, but I don't want to skip over anything. So of course I'm on the 1st and 3rd here. Now we switch to the 2nd and 4th strings. Now we're going to jump all the way down to 6th and 4th strings, 5th and 3rd. Here we're on the 4th and 2nd string. down to the 5th and 3rd, back up to the 4th and 2nd. So even if we just get that chunk for today, all right, so here we go. The chromatic things sound nice with the octaves. Sorry? Okay, so as I said, I'm working on it as well as you. So by the way, when I show you this transcription, disregard some of the chords, because if you have, for example, the Wheelbook Edition 6, the chords are laid out better because there's a nice descending line for how insensitive. And whoever put the chord symbols here above the tab notes kind of, I think, somewhat misinterpreted what was going on with the chords. So don't use this one for the chords. The chords are actually D minor 7, C sharp, diminished, going to C minor 6, and then we're going to G7 with B in the bass. Then it's going to be a B flat major 6 actually, E flat major 7, E minor 7 flat 5, A7 flat 9, D minor 7. Okay. This will be a short video because we're not going to get too far into West territory because I start to flounder, as is already readily apparent. Okay, so just remember that you can slow things down. On YouTube, you can slow them down to 75% speed, 50%, might even have 25, I'm not sure. One more time. By the way, I didn't mention, but the middle string, the string between the two notes is always deadened. And that's easy enough to achieve. Here's my D on the 5th string, here's the dead 4th, and here's the D on the 3rd string. It gives that nice percussive sound. And again, with the right strings and the right guitar, the thumb really gives the sound of Wes. Here we go. Something like that. All right, so it's going to be a work in progress. I might do more of this. I also want to do very soon some nice Wes Montgomery chord solos that he did. He was just phenomenal. He would start out a lot of times with single notes, then you'd hear him doing these octaves, and then you'd see him go into just a chord solo. And a great example of that as a ballad is Around Midnight, if you get a chance to check that out. It's basically him and an organ, and it's really, really nice. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any tips for me, because this is somewhat new territory for me, octaves. But anyway, if you haven't subscribed, do so, and throw me a like if you think it's useful, and otherwise have a great day. See you next time.